So today I'm going to show you how to do a little Jack Skellington project from The Nightmare Before Christmas. What we're going to do is we're going to use mostly pencil. It's going to be a little just sketching it out and shading a little bit. So I like to usually have two pencils. See, this one doesn't have an eraser, just in case, especially when we're shading stuff in, you're going to need you're either going to need a pencil sharpener nearby or another pencil. So the first thing, in order to draw Jack, we're going to make his head, his neck, and then his like little bat bow tie. So in order to draw Jack, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make his head, which is a circle. So you're just going to, and when you sketch, it should be pretty light. I'm going to do it dark just so you guys could see. So I'm going to make a nice circle. You want it to be nice size because we want to take up a lot of the paper. After we do our circle, we'll start working on our features. So right in the middle, I'm going to draw his nose. How I draw his nose, it's going to be like two watermelon seeds that are going to be slightly curved. So I'm going to draw a little, or teardrop. So right in the middle of his head, I'm going to do two teardrops, or watermelon seeds, slightly askew. So that's going to be his nose. That's going to help us like figure out the orientation of how to draw his eyes. So to make his eyes, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to almost make not full circles, but almost pretend you're making a circle. But when you get to the top, you kind of stop. And I'm going to do one on each side. So there I have my circles. Next, we're going to make almost his eyebrows and the top of his eyes. So what I'm going to do is the top of the circle, I am just going to make a nice curved line. And then I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to fix my eye so it connects with those lines. I might have to erase something. So that's almost like our eyebrow. Next thing I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to go curved. Then I'm going to go up. And this is going to really give Jack like his expression. So then I have my eyes, my eyebrows. We're going to draw a little, to almost make them look like eyebrows, we're just going to, it's actually how his skin is. I'm going to give him that look. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to make his smile. To make his smile, you're going to make a big smile, but not too much. And then what I'm going to do, that's just like the top of his mouth, and then we're going to come back. We're going to make the bottom of his mouth, which is going to be slightly askew, not quite in the center. So there we have his eyes, nose, mouth. Next, we'll work on his neck. So to make his neck, you're just going to make two lines going down. He has a pretty long neck. And then at the end of that neck is where his bat bow tie starts. So we're going to make our little bat first. So I'm going to make the top of the bat's head, which is going to just be like a little curved rainbow. Then I'm going to make two ears on either side of the neck. And then I'm going to close off that rainbow. So I'm going to start on my left side, go down to a point, and then go back up. Then inside that bat, I'm going to make his eyes, which are going to be kind of like our nose. So they're going to be two teardrops. One, two. Beautiful. Then we're going to make his bow tie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, below the ears, I'm going to make two lines, one going up, one going down. And I'm going to do that on both sides. One going up and one going down. Alrighty. So then next, what I'm going to do is this tie part has three sections to it. So I'm going to put a little dot in between the ends of the lines. I'm going to do it on both sides. So from that dot, I'm going to make two lines that go in, and then I'm going to connect it to my outside lines. Two lines that go in, and then connect it to my outside lines. And that is good for now. We'll add a little more. We could actually make it, bring it out, make it a little bigger too. Alrighty. So now let's go back and start adding some shading. If you have a Sharpie, you could use a Sharpie if you just want to make it black and white. I'm going to use my pencil to add the shading. So the first thing that I am going to do is I'm going to shade in his nose. So I'm not even going to, it's just going to be solid color. So when I'm shading, I like to hold the pencil horizontally almost. And I'm just going to fill in that. I'm also going to fill in his mouth. And when we're filling in his mouth, we're just pretty much, and his nose and stuff, we're not looking for like different values. I'm just like shading it in to color it almost. And while we're at its mouth, what we could start doing is I'm going to add his stitches on his mouth. So I'm just going to start making little lines, and you can make them going different directions. I'm going to do it all along the top, and then I'll come back and do it on the bottom. And where the mouth gets really small, I'm just going to make one bigger line. Do that on the other side too. And then I'm going to go back and do the bottom lines. I'm going to go back and shade this a little darker. Next, I'm going to go back and do my shade in my eyes. I'll show you how to make shading a little darker. So this way, I'm going to shade in his eyes, and I'm going up and down. And what I'm going to show you how to do is something called cross hatching. So this, I'm going up and down. And so that's not that dark. In order to make it darker, it's called cross hatching. So I'm not going up and down, I'm going to go side to side. And that makes it darker. You see the darker, and that's called cross hatching. It's a different way of shading. It almost reminds me of like doing scribbles. And as you change, so I'm going to go like diagonal. It's just when you change the direction of the shading, it'll become a little darker. I'm going to do that to the following eye, the next eye. All right, so once you shade in your eyes, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna make his eyebrows like a little more expressive. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add some shading. So that top section, I'm just gonna start, and gently as you go down, do a little less pressure just so you have a little differentiating of color. Then I'm gonna go back, and on the lower part of my eyebrow, I'm gonna shade up. Just add a little shading, darken some areas. All right. So next what I'm gonna do the other one. I'm gonna change my you just want to make the lower part of his lid just a little bit darker. I'm gonna extend it over here. So we have Jack going. I'm gonna add some shading on his neck as well. So on the left, my left, I'm just going to start off on the side, and then as you get into the neck, just a little less pressure. Once again, I'm holding my pencil like horizontally. Just adding a little something to the neck. I'm gonna do that on the other side too. Then I'm gonna go back and fill in my little bat head. And this, you're just looking for basic coverage. It doesn't have to be light to dark. And then also, while I have my pencil and we're shading a little, I'm gonna just shade just a little on the sides of his face. Shading just gives stuff a little dimension. And if you wanna shade, shading really works well too with colored pencils. Not even, you could shade with pencil and then just color over it with colored pencil, and you'll still see like the differences in the color. But you could also shade with colored pencils. So then I added some color to the sides of my face. Now let's work on this bow tie. So what I'm gonna do, in his bow tie, he actually has some white. So we're going to outline where we're gonna have it white. So I'm basically, so this almost looks like a bird foot to me, or chicken foot. So I'm gonna make, inside of it, I'm gonna make a little smaller chicken foot. And that is going to be white, and the rest is going to be shaded. While you're shading, if you want to make it a little bit bigger too, you could extend some of those chicken feet, as I say. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And shade. All right, so there you have your Jack Skellington. So you could go back, you could add a little color to it if you want to leave it. It's perfect the way it is, but I hope you enjoyed drawing Jack with me, and have a good day.